Hello everyone, welcome back. We have come to the end of our semester. This will be our last video lecture, and we will conclude our semester by talking about the famous French philosopher Jean Baudrillard. Jean Baudrillard is an interesting scholar who has had a lasting impact on our discipline, and we can spend a whole month talking about his work and his contribution to our understanding of communication and the media. But this week we will only focus on his theory of semiotics of the media and its main arguments. Jean Baudrillard is a postmodern thinker. It is hard to understand him without keeping in mind that the main argument of postmodernity is reality is disappearing. Baudrillard uses the phrase desert of reality to describe our age. For him, the real has become irrelevant and undefinable. It clings on its vestiges. He believes that in our age, signs and symbols have become increasingly separated from the objects they represent, and that the media have propelled this process to the point where nothing is real anymore. Baudrillard divides our past into 4 different phases or eras: the era of the symbolic order, counterfeits, production, and simulation. A sign was originally a simple representation of an object or condition, he says. He calls this stage the stage of symbolic order. In this era, the sign and its object were directly connected to one another. Then came the counterfeit stage, where signs and symbols began to assume a less direct relationship to their objects. In the production stage, the link between the sign and its objects were severed, and the sign and the referent became disconnected. According to him, the present condition is a simulation where signs no longer represent but create our reality. In the era of simulation, we live in a hyper-reality, a bizarre mix of copies of copies. An example might help explain what he is saying. Let's say I'm in the market for a pair of sunglasses. I can buy my sunglasses from Walmart for $10 or pay $200 and buy a pair of Ray-Bans. Let's say I bought Ray-Bans. There are some questions worth thinking about in this case. First, why did I even need a pair of sunglasses? Was it a real necessity or an artificial need created by the prevailing values and views and discourses of the commercial world? Do we really need sunglasses? Can a cheap hat provide the same kind of protection? Right? Second, why did I buy Ray-Bans or any other brand name? For what did I actually pay that $200? Are the materials used in Ray-Bans significantly more expensive to justify the price? Is the labor that goes into making a pair of Ray-Bans significantly different and more expensive than any other brand? To what did I actually pay that $200? Baudrillard will say that I paid that $200 for the brand name and the social status I believe the brand brings. I didn't pay that $200 for the material used, for the labor, or for the object itself. In other words, I paid that money to obtain the meaning created around the Ray-Ban brand, not for the sunglasses themselves. That meaning is intangible. It is a construction. It is not real. It has no real value. It has little or nothing to do with the object itself. That is the hyper-reality Baudrillard says we live and operate in now. And the media have a lot to do with value creations where none exist. Media have a lot to do with the meaning creation where none exist. Most of my students find it useful to think about the film Matrix while they're trying to understand Baudrillard and his concepts of simulacrum and hyperreality. Matrix represents a world in which two distinct realities coexist. This duality meant to represent the duality between what is perceived as truth in our society in the form of simulation and what is truly real. Behind the facade of the perceived truth of the matrix lies a reality that is devoid of any life. This is the world of signs and symbols and images. It is dangerous to unmask images because there is nothing behind them. Unmasking them will reveal what Baudrillard calls the desert of reality, the emptiness behind them. And it will bring down the capitalist, commercial, and oppressive order built upon them. And as scholars, he says, it is our job to reveal that desert, no matter how scary, how unsettling, or how dangerous this might be. It is our job to decode these images, to unmask them in order to reveal the truth behind them. I will post an interesting YouTube video on this on our Blackboard. I will strongly recommend that you watch it, and I hope you will enjoy watching it this week. See you next time.